Executive speech skills coach John Senaya is here with me again today, and we're going to talk about something that is very, very important. In fact, I want to go as far as saying I'm quite disturbed by it. And what is it that is disturbing me, John?
Please tell me.
It is leadership skills and the way that public speaking affects positively or negatively the performance of our leaders.
A lot of leaders take things for granted. As a matter of fact, the education, the training should have been part of the process from the bottom or whatever of the ladder to the top. And these would have been improved as you moved along the ladder, moved up the ladder. So yes, a lot of people would have taken it for granted. And then at the time when you should show your feathers as a leader, you're short.
I'm sure you've made that observation at certain occasions, conferences and things.
I have, and sometimes it gets so bad that people in leadership positions, because they cannot speak clearly and concisely and logically, have to now, ask their subordinates, to do it for them. And once you start that, you start losing your position. I bet you.
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yes.
Actually, as you were talking, I remember something, a conference that I attended, several years ago. And there was this lady, when you look at her, you would believe that, oh, she's really got the goods.
Complete package.
Absolutely complete package. But my goodness, when she stood on stage, it was, I don't know, it was almost an abomination.
Disaster.
It was absolute disaster.
Yes.
To the extent, when it was time for Q&A, people in the audience got up and said pretty horrific things to her. Where I was sitting, I wished the ground would open and swallow me, not even her.
Yeah.
I felt so
bad. That must have really been a very grave, situation.
It was.
Because most times the audience is on your side. The audience always has a bit of sympathy for you because one, they've paid or probably received the invitations and spent their time to come and listen to you. And unless you really, really messed up, that doesn't happen.
What is it going to take for so many of our leaders? Because you see, every day you put on the TV, you listen to the radio, and they're there every 30 minutes or every hour. They're always addressing us for one reason or the other.
Yes.
And 90% of the time, I'm sorry to say, 90% of the time, they're incoherent.
Yes. And I've thought about this several times. I've thought about it because most times their performance when they come up to speak publicly leaves a lot to be desired.
What is it going to take for leaders themselves to understand that it is an absolute necessity for them to be able to effectively address audiences?
They have to come to the full realization that, in that position, a lot is expected. Part of it is their ability to sell, their ability to make better connections, the opportunity to even boost their careers.
Now, I'm sorry, but I need to interrupt. And I'm interrupting because you're talking about people who have an option. Let me put it that way. But many of our leaders already believe that they have arrived. Many of them have already reached the zenith. If you're a minister, for instance, you are a member of the House of Assembly, for instance, there's really not much further that you can go. You're already there.
Well, it depends on what indices we are using to mark them. What is arrival? You're not an asset to your organization or to your country if you are unable to speak well. You are indeed a liability. And until we start rubbing it in their faces, that listen, you're not doing well. Yes, you may have tarred 1,000,000 roads and provided 500 hospitals, but if you're not able to carry me along the way you're supposed to and sell more of your programs to me, then you haven't touched me.
And that is where public speaking
And that is where public speaking
and leadership,
that's
where
where
they
they
converge.
meet. Yes,
Yeah.
because again, the idea of having packages and the ability to deliver the package or the packages comes to play. The delivery point is public speaking.
Is public speaking. The delivery point for leaders
For leaders, for anyone.
is public speaking.
Yes.
That's where we're going to call it a day.